Hello everyone who is watching this, to my fellow young queen leaders all over the world. Now here we are going to talk about nature, how nature has made me who I am today. So when we talk about nature, one thing has to come out clearly. Here we're going to talk about genes, how genes can shape the near or the future coming generations of people who come from that line of genes. So as me, Kiiza, I'm going to talk about how my dad, my father, my mom, maybe my grandmother and father made, or how they influenced to who I am today. So I'll start with my dad. My dad, he was and he is still a businessman. Yes, he went to school, but unfortunately he never lived to graduate. Maybe by then, only a few children were able to start school and be able to reach to the university or have a degree. So he broke out the school and he went to do business, starting from scratch now to something to who he is now. From selling small things like Janas, like mandazi by then when he was just 17 or even perhaps even younger than that age, to now developing slowly to becoming someone who used to trade cross borders, Uganda and Rwanda, maybe sometimes Congo, while transporting merchandise and selling them to different areas and countries. Later to becoming a man who is involved in petroleum business. Why am I giving all these small details about him? These details usually tells me to maybe kind of inspires me to kind of think about myself. Am I going to follow him, or do I really have like the inner instincts which tells me that I'm going to be like him? Do I behave like him? Do I act like him? Or I'm different from his ways. So one thing I also need to mention is that my dad is so passionate about politics and he's involved in politics. And I'll specifically state that attribute of politics, it has greatly influenced me. I can give an example of maybe people who have followed their genes, their father's genes or mother's genes to become great men who inspire me today. I'll mention them in a few coming minutes ahead, but just to list them, let's talk about maybe Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, his dad was a counselor to the king, to the then acting king of the Thembu people, South Africa. So, his father, the counselor, Nelson Mandela, became a great leader through politics, through fighting apartheid. That is just one example, but I'll maybe talk about them on that topic. So, Dad being a businessman and a politician, it means a lot to me, because what I do and what I've been always doing back days, it's more in relation to what he does. I've been involved in politics to some extent all along. As a student, I've always been a leader in all schools that I've attended, from being prefects to head prefects to the university guild, to being an attorney general, to the national level contesting at the students' president association of the whole country. That, I think, it tells me that my genes and my dad's genes are in some way or the other connected. Then, yeah, maybe some other people's genes don't mean a lot to them. They usually do things that are different from what their parents did or their grandparents. But to me, it's maybe the contrary. Then let's talk about my mom. My mom, she is a social worker. I'm proud to say, because actually I love it to say it, because what I do and what she did is what brings me here even today. She's a bachelor holder in social sciences and development. So I can greatly say that I'm lucky to share both genes, dads and moms. Because as an activist, as a human rights activist, as a lawyer, my mom has always used to tell me when I was a kid that she would tell me that I used to defend my sisters and brothers whenever they did something wrong by trying to justify their wrongs in order to shield them so that they are not punished. It sounds funny, but that's who I was by then. And from then she told me that I think you can be a great lawyer by the way you defend people even if they are kind of guilty, but you make them unguilty. So she told me that you should be a lawyer. And whenever I would hear her say that, even if I was a kid and I didn't know much about being a lawyer, all I knew that lawyers are always smart, not only in how they dress up, but also the brains, that you must be having brains for you to be a lawyer. So that greatly inspired me a lot. I used to be a humble person. I didn't like too much when I was a kid to associate with many people. I used to refrain myself to being in a room, like, not being a joke person who plays with everyone. And mom would always come to my rescue and say, why are others praying and for you sitting alone? And I would tell her that it's fine with me, I just want to have a peaceful environment. So leave alone that. So mom being a social worker, and now I'm doing more or less the same work, trying to improve people's life, improve people's well-being in my community. That is being a social worker. And I'm proud to say that I followed my mom's. And politics, of course, and I know politics will still shape my ways and my future time ahead. So that is about maybe genes. So let's talk about people who have shaped me, people that have inspired me. Of course, number one is my mom. Like I said, she has made me who I am today, and I'm proud to her. Thanks a lot, my mom. I'm always indebted to you, and I'll always remember you for that. So here I want to show you some people who have inspired me. Okay, let's start with this one. You can see this small picture here. This picture is of, to those who are keen enough, they have already identified the people, the two people. But there is one specific one, this one. If I may ask my friend here who this person is, I don't know if she would guess. Would you tell who this person is?
It's you.
It's me.
Is it not?
Wow. All right, that's a nice guess, but you didn't get the answer right.
Yeah.
This is Barack Obama.
Oh, really?
Let me maybe go up and you could be able to see it well. So you can see how he is today. There he is.
Mm-hmm.
That is Barack Hussein Obama, the second. So why did I pick Obama first? It's because I've lived to see him. Though not meeting him physically, but I've seen him over the news. I've read his books, from Dreams from My Father, Industry of Hope, and all other things that I've discovered about him. He speaks to me a lot because he's such a great leader. First of all, he was a lawyer, but that one is not so much into me, though I am, but him, the way he fights for the equality and fighting for justice, how he used to, when he was still a youth, how he used to work in communities to change their communities by then. It's what inspires me, that maybe I could be like him, not necessarily being a president of US, but do what he did and be remembered for that. Being born from an African man and later maybe moving to his dad passing on, but still, his dad was also actually somehow a politician, not an active politician, but he still had the voices of a politician. If you read his book, you find that maybe among the reasons that might have killed him, it's maybe because of political views. So, that's one of them. Then the other one is this great person. You can see him, those who are keen enough have already got the answer of the person, the name of the person. I will not ask my friend this time around.
But I know this time.
You know this time?
That's Nelson Mandela.
Wow, that's great. That's nice. Thank you. She's right. This is great Nelson Mandela Madiba. This is one of the great people that I'm always interested in. I always want to know much about them, though I know, yes, some information about them, but I feel I should always learn how they used to live each day, each time, and each minute. He's such a great leader that he fought apartheid. He was in jail for over 27 years. But what inspires me most is how he even was given a chance to lead his country, and he just led them for a few months and gave platform to other leaders to emerge. Meaning that much as we can be leaders, we should not always think that we are the people can only run the show only. We should always give room to other people to emerge as a good leader. So he inspires me a lot because he fought for equality in his country, for unjust laws, people to be treated equally. He one time mentioned that I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideas of the democratic and free society, and in which all people live together and live in harmony with equal opportunities, and that this the ideal is ready to fight for and die for if need be. So such quote really speaks to me a lot, and I think he deserves recognition. Then the last person is this one. He looks old at that moment, but if you could have seen him in his age, you'd get to maybe be attracted to him, not just the way he looks, but even how he spoke. As I want to mention that this is great Mahatma Gandhi, who was also a rights activist who means a lot to the Indian community, but not only to the Indian community, but also to the whole world. Because his advocacy or his role in fighting against domination by white people by then in India, and segregation, advocating for the peaceful ways of solving disputes between them. I think if he was to live today, he would give more solutions to the current situation. Because nowadays we think that every dispute we must resort to wars, and this one is a clear difference between what he taught and how the world is being run today. So he inspires me a lot. I read a lot of how he lived in India, later to South Africa, later to London as a lawyer, and I hope I would borrow much from his ways and maybe try to be me, but also do what he did maybe to some extent, and localize his ideas to those that suits my people. So those are the people that inspires me a lot, and I have to say thank you for watching this and following my discussion, and my special thanks, of course, to one special person in front of me who's holding the camera, to Lisa. She's such a good and a kind friend. And of course, she has also maybe inspired me or kind of impacted me in some ways. Yeah, at least when you live with a person who is good, you always have to learn something from them. I know she's an activist as well, so I have learned a lot from her through these usual discussions. Then, to my special thanks to my mom, my dad, and lastly, to special thanks to the Queen Young Leaders program. So it's such an honor to have this scholarship at the Institute of Continuing Studies at Cambridge University, and I hope this program of 9 months will greatly impact my life, will greatly shape me to whom I will be in future. But I wouldn't say me, maybe we, because I will not live in an isolated world. I will live with people whom in every day I will be maybe trying to teach, try to inspire, try to motivate, try to help where I can, so that we can have a better world and a just world. Thank you.